Welcome to Real Life with Jenny. My name's Jenny Senaparatna. Grab your favorite drink, get a snack, and we'll get started. Today I have peach ginger flavored tea, and I have a white chocolate covered animal cracker that my daughter gave me. So let's get real. Now, if you don't know, I have a fabulous dog named Caspian Frodo. Yes, Caspian from Narnia and Frodo from Lord of the Rings. We are that cool here at our house. He is a Cavalier, a King Charles Cavalier, and a Havanese combined. And I have to tell you, I don't know if I'll ever get a different kind of dog. He is so chill and such a good dog. It is kind of amazing, but he's also kind of naughty. The dog that has eaten several pair of pants and 3 pair of glasses, or 2 pair, 3 pair, I don't know. He loves his mom, which is me. I am his adoptive mom. So you're going to hear me refer to myself a couple times as mom in this podcast. It's okay. If it bothers you, I'm super sorry. But he is my fur baby, so that's just the way things are. So he is a mama's dog. Like, he loves me. So he's actually sitting right next to me as I'm recording my podcast. He could be somewhere else doing something more fun, but he's with mom. So I don't know why. I don't know why he follows me, but he will follow me from the front of the house to the back of the house, from the front of the house to the back of the house. He is always making sure that he has his eye on me. I'm not 100% sure if it's because he thinks that I'm about to get into mischief and he needs to be a part of it, or or if I'm just the most chill one, so he's like, let's just stick with this woman. She's good with naps. I'm not 100% sure. But the one thing that I am learning about him is he is a dog of routine, which most dogs are, especially at our home, because we are such a creatures of habit. So he knows when I get my socks on, I go to the front, I put my sunglasses on, that means we're about to go around the block. So he goes ballistic. He knows that it is his time to get outside and stretch his little legs and pull me along the walking path. It is very funny. He also knows that when the can opener is being used, most likely it's for him. He knows that it's either going to be tuna or salmon, and he could tell by the kind of can you pull out of the thing what he's about to get. I don't think he knows between salmon and tuna. I can't even say that right. I don't think he knows the difference of those 2 cans, but he does know the difference between tomato sauce and a tuna can. And so he's right there letting you know how important it is to make sure he gets a taste. He also knows that when you go to the fridge and you open up a cheese packet, he knows that sound. He doesn't care if you've gone to the fridge. It's not important to him. He's like, you go to the fridge all you want, until it's something that actually affects him. And so he'll get a couple pieces of shredded cheese whenever he comes over to remind you, hey, I'm here. Do you need me to remind you that I'm here, and I'll take some of that cheese, please? But the one thing that is super interesting about this dog, and now he's only my second dog I've had as an adult, but I've never known a dog like this in my family, and maybe your dogs are like this. But he will stand next to me or sit next to me, and he only looks at me. He's always looking up. He's always watching me. He's not watching things that fall on the ground, because things fall when I'm cooking. Maybe I'm not the cleanest cook. I don't know. But he is always just watching me. And I get a little frustrated. I'm like, could you just look at the ground? You know, I drop a piece of hamburger on the ground and he doesn't even notice until I've pointed it out, because his focus is completely on me. He doesn't notice that hamburger until I'm like, hey, Caspian, you want this? And I point to it with my finger or my toe, and he's all over it. He just looked at me like, what am I getting? Sorry, he just gave me the look like, Mom, what are we talking about? I'm here. Do you need me to eat hamburger? But I think that's so interesting, because he knows that I am the one, or my husband or my daughter, he's always looking up. And he's always watching the person. So when we have a bowl of popcorn, which is his favorite snack in the whole world, in fact, now his tag tail is currently wagging because he's like, wait a minute, I've heard that word before. I know what that word means. He knows that he will just look at me. Sometimes he'll nudge the bowl with his nose and remind me that I'm still there because he's not allowed to bark. But he comes over and he taps me with his nose or taps the bowl with his nose to remind me, by the way, I like popcorn too. You've had 3 pieces. That means you should share with me. That's 1 for 1 here, which we don't do, by the way, but he's always looking at me or at my daughter because we're always the ones sharing the popcorn bowls. He is always looking up. When I'm making popcorn, he never is looking at the ground. He's always looking up and watching what's happening. And I love that because it's such a great reminder for us, right? I mean, it is a great reminder that we need to be looking up to the Lord. He is our provider. He is the one that will drop what we need to drop when it needs to drop. Like, he knows what we need and he's fully in control of that. My dog cannot get his own puppy food. He cannot get his own water. Now, I know that there's cool little devices that you can do that, but he's not able to. We are not that cool. We're still at the Dollar Tree bowls. Like, it's okay. He's fine. We're just he doesn't get to cook his own food. He doesn't get to open up a tuna can. None of that is in his control, but he knows whose control it is in. It's in ours. And so he's always looking to us, and he's not looking down at the ground for what he can find. He's always looking to us. And I love that as a comparison of God, that if we look up to him, he will provide. He has all these things, the peace that passes all understanding, joy, faithfulness, patience. He has so many things he can give us, not only the fruits of the Spirit and all of the wonderful promises that he's given us, but even financially. And I just love, my pastor talked about on Sunday. Sometimes I feel like he listens to my podcast and I really know he doesn't, but and he talked about how they were praying for a grill and a grill came outside and it said, from Jesus. And we've been there as a Senaparatna family, that the Lord has provided things that when my teapot broke and I did a whole podcast on it, I got a teapot and I just absolutely love it. And it's just such a blessing. I didn't have to buy one. Someone provided it for me. It just, God sends those things because my eyes are on him. And so much more would God do for us than we can do for our dog, right? My dog's not intelligent. I mean, he's an intelligent dog, but he's not as intelligent as we are as humans. But he still knows his source. He still knows who's in control. He still knows that when mom puts on her shoes and sunglasses at a certain time of the day, that means he's going to go somewhere. He knows that when he comes over and stands by the door and looks at dad and he goes, hey, Kevin, you going to take me out? Kevin will get up and take him out. Like, he knows who will help him when he's in a bad situation or just in general. He scratches at a bowl and he's like, hey, people, I don't have water. And he knows we're going to fill it. There's no question in his mind that we're going to do that for him. But we constantly question whether God's going to fill our bowl. And we're constantly questioning whether he loves us. And we're constantly questioning, why is this happening? And I just want you to know that God is willing to give you great things. He is willing to stand there and fill your bowl of water or food and hand you popcorn and do all those wonderful things. Sometimes we just have to focus on him and say, Lord, I'm just going to focus on you, and I'm going to look up, and I know who my supplier is. I know who's ultimately in charge. And Lord, I need you to come down and touch this. Does that mean everything's fixed right away? Absolutely not. Like, life is life, right? Like, do I wish that we could say, God, take away all my pain, make me feel 100% better, and it would happen automatically? Yes, I do. But does that mean that God's abandoned us? No, it doesn't. When my dog had the big cone on his head, which he's had a couple times, and he looks at you with complete and utter horror, like, why have you done this to me? And I'm like, honey, I know what's best for you. And I know this doesn't seem fun right now, but I do know what's best. And I still love you. And I will still give you peace. And I will still give you patience. And I will still give you joy in the midst of this chaos. I'm super sorry you're wearing a cone. And I know you look ridiculous. And you're in a lot of pain. but trust me, I love you. And I know that's what God's saying to us. Hey, trust me, I love you, and I've got a plan. And I'm excited for what God's doing in your life as you look towards Him. Well, that's all I have for this week. You can find me on Real Life with Jenny on Instagram, Facebook, and Be Real. You can also find me at christconnection.cc/Jen. All of my info is there. It's time to start booking Christmas, so if you're interested in having me come talk to the ladies this fall or this summer in your church, I would love to come out and just be a part of encouraging all the ladies in your church. Also, don't forget to rate this podcast. I know I don't say that often enough, but go on, rate it. Tell me how I'm doing, and just, give me a little whatever that is. I don't know, stars or whatever, wherever you listen to it. Well, you all have a blessed week as you look at the provider of your everyday meals and of everything that God can give to you as we find Him as our source. Have a great day.